the Nation Media Group and its partners went around this country and held 21 town hall meetings to discuss about Ni Mkenya, where citizens openly and honestly shared about their ambition, the vision they have about their country. The leadership of the country also took part, and the various other partners who also supported the Nation Media Group in achieving Ni Mkenya 2022. We all appreciate you. And today, this marks the start of that journey yet again. This goes beyond 2022, because this is not just about the election. This is not just about, oh, it's another electioneering period, so we are doing this. This is a role that the Nation Media Group has consciously chosen to take. So, without further ado, we will be inviting and starting our program, because we have a really tight program. I will invite James Sogoti. James Sogoti from the Nation Media Group to come and just give us a feel, a lay of the land of what this is about. James, karibu sana, and you can break a leg kidogo, tuweke sauti kidogo. Sogoti comes from Baringo. He comes from twende kidogo.
Thank you, DJ. Our chief guest, Principal Secretary, Minister of Interior, National Administration, Chairman, IEBC, CEO and MD, Nation Media Group, MD Electoral Kenya, Dr. Manu Chandaria, a great citizen of our country who loves our country and a great entrepreneur as well, industrial guru in our country. All protocols observed. Good morning. I have a great responsibility to briefly just highlight the background of why Ni Mkenya initiative. And because sometimes I get extremely passionate about this, I'll request Monica, my colleague, if I take more than 5 minutes, you say stop. Yeah? The conversation that we would like to have, and we are going to start this conversation today for the next 18 months. And the discussion is really around redefining citizenship. My role as a citizen and my role in my country. What do I have to contribute as a citizen? Many a times, and this really is broadly speaking to NMG's big initiative, but also getting in a lot of partners with a view and a vision of being media of Africa for Africa. Africa is known not to handle elections very well. This is not unique about Kenya. And it's because as citizens, as Africans, we greatly have an opportunity of respecting ourselves even better and taking ourselves a lot more seriously than we've done in the past. As citizens, as a people, and thus the conversation around Ni Mkenya. I have about 5 slides just to share with us. You could go to the next slide. It's speaking to what we've had in our country, which is great. 4 democratic transitions in the last 24 years and more. And we've moved from one season to the other season, well, and peace has stood, consistently and continuously. The only thing that has been not very comfortable, go to the next slide, is really the conversations around how uneasy does it get when we get to that season. Sometimes very uneasy, sometimes it costs us the psyche of togetherness as a people. And we've always witnessed very deep polarization in our country every other 5 years, for the last almost 30 years. This must stop. And it will take each one of us to really participate, to make sure that this rising toxicity amongst us as a people gets to really calm down or even end completely. So what we are looking at is really drive conversations that is going to help our economy and ease the economic pressures that we usually get. The next slide will show you the impact that this has on our economy is massive. There are situations where our economy has moved from growth of 7.3 to 1 just in a period of about 3 months. What value are we talking about that we've lost? That's an example of the year 2007. And over again, this has been happening. That costs us jobs. That costs us, the purchasing power parity of our nation, our citizens, is really undermined to a very big extent. Do we want that to proceed? No. That is why this Ni Mkenya initiative remains a critical conversation. And everyone has a role to play, including our farmers who would be going to the farm. Those times you would find activities in the farm stops and supplies that goes across the country ceases to get to the destination. Let's go to the next slide. I think I've spoken to that. The next slide, and the impact on GDP and the economy is very clear. This would be my last slide. And what we would like to do is to really amplify citizen voices. Let us have this conversation. Kenya is made of you and I. Kenya is made of all of us. We are the fabric that makes this nation. And as a result of that, this Ni Mkenya initiative is to say, it's all of us who really make these choices. So the opportunity that we need to seize and really discussions that we need to have is, can we amplify our citizen voices? Can we hold leadership to account? Can we have discussions around governance? Promote responsible citizenship and strengthen our national cohesion, all through consistently. And beginning today is really to look at, and the main objectives here is to drive this awareness. If I was to persuade all of us with one thing, let us all be ambassadors of Ni Mkenya initiative. Let us drive this awareness. Let it begin with you and I, so that we are all promoting an ethical civic engagement in public, in private sector, across all the spheres of our society, but also encourage meaningful conversations, even in moments that we have diverse opinions. Diversity has richness in whatever we do every other time. And so, I've seen Monica's signal, diversity has a great place in what we are doing, and so let us begin here. Rally together, work together, team up together to drive this conversation. The point where we lose lives for no reason, completely no reason. Hundreds of lives are lost every year for absolutely no reason. Here we are saying we need to pull together, love each other, progress together, and together we say Ni Mkenya. I'll just leave with one point. What makes you love this country? If you are to ask yourself, what is this that makes me love Kenya? What is this that makes me believe so much in my country? Please, let's ask ourselves that and spread the love. Thank you very much. Ibrahim, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's our Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. James Sugoti. Let's give him a better clap. A better clap, please. And at this point, allow me to introduce the Nation Media Group MD and CEO, Geoffrey Odundo, to make his opening remarks. And this one you have to give him a better clap. He's my boss, guys. He's my boss. This one you have to. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Great. Really nice to see a very, very full room, very early in the morning. And I'm really delighted that we've all kept time because we need to make sure that we run this program very fast. So our chief guest, our PS in charge of internal security and national administration, Honorable Raymond Omolo, Chairman of IEBC, Mr. Manu Chandaria, Dr. Manu Chandaria, a great friend and a really great citizen, Bimal Shah, our Senator, Olekina, our DPP. I can tell you today I feel very honored. I've met very heavy people today, and I must say it's quite an honor to really be here today. So I'd like to just continue on the standing protocols and say good morning. Good morning again. So once again, I wish to thank you for making time to be here this morning. We come into this conversation, as Sogoti has said, when our country is beginning to feel the heat of another election. You can sense in our everyday conversation how people are engaging, the questions that are being asked, and many quietly asking about where we are headed. And yet, if there's one thing that we can say about Kenya with honesty, it is that we have, over time, found our ways to navigate these moments, often under severe pressure. With a lot of tension, but with a consistent effort to hold together. This has always not been easy, and it has not always felt certain. But it reflects something important about who we are, an underlying resilience and a shared awareness that what binds us must ultimately be stronger than what divides us. For over 60 years, we have been at the center of Kenya's evolution. From independence, multi-party reform, and multiple election cycles, we have grown alongside the country we serve. What began as a print business is now a multimedia platform, providing different channels from broadcast to digital, which is now our next frontier. With a population of over 50 million and a median of just 20, this country is shaped by young people who are digitally connected, who have access to internet, and who are very aware of the ongoings in our country. I think you feel them every day, the engagements on social media. There's always a very, very strong discourse on every issue. Almost every issue here that the government does is a discourse in this country. Kenyans now participate in real-time conversations across digital platforms. Kenya today is larger, younger, and more connected than it has ever been, even at the last election cycle. The implications are clear. The national conversation is no longer linear. It's distributed, it is distributed, immediate, and highly participatory. And as we approach another election cycle, this conversation will intensify. We're already seeing familiar dynamics, sharper political positions, faster moving information that is sometimes not verified, and increased pressure within the digital spaces where much of the engagement takes place today. But what has changed is the scale and the speed. Information travels instantly. We are in that business, we can tell you. Information travels instantly. Narratives form quickly. And in many cases, the line between fact, opinion, and manipulation is not always clear. This is not just a media challenge. It's a shared society challenge. And it reinforces the need for credible spaces where conversations can happen with clarity, context, and accountability. As the Nation Media Group, our trust is our currency, and we try to, we don't go for speed, we go for truth. And sometimes you might blame us for being a big legacy and old, but we can't afford to misinform the public. We have to verify our news. So our initiative, Ni Mkenya, is a civic convening platform. We bring together citizens, institutions, and diverse voices into shared space for engagement with a clear objective to support a more informed, more inclusive, and a more issue-driven national conversation. During the last election, Ni Mkenya demonstrated that it is possible to create a nonpartisan space where Kenyans can engage beyond political noise and focus on the core issues that affect the Kenyan society. What we're doing today is building on that foundation, and we want to thank our initial participants, including Manu Chandaria and Bimal, who were there, and for being here again. This just shows the spirit that you carry along in taking this forward. At Nation Media Group, this aligns with our role. For the last 60 years, we have observed and reported on Kenya's public life. That experience has shaped our understanding of our responsibility, not to direct the national conversation, but to provide a credible, trusted platform where it can take place. Our strength lies in our ability to convene across television, radio, print, and our digital platforms, where we reach millions of Kenyans every day. This reach allows us to bring together different perspectives from citizens to institutions and communities into a shared space where ideas can be tested and understood. Through Ni Mkenya, as Ogoti has said, we will use this reach deliberately. We will convene town halls across the country, host agenda conversations focused on policy, accountability, and facilitate forums that connect citizens more directly with the leadership. We'll work with those of you in the room and other partners across the civil society and communities to ensure that conversations are grounded, credible, and reflective of our lived realities. As part of this effort, we will strengthen our quality of information in the public space. This means prioritizing verification, context, and responsible storytelling across the work we do. I know we have AI today that can actually tell you a story in seconds, but AI relies on content creation, and at Nation Media, our content is actually one of the things that we trust and believe will be able to inform you much better. So citizens will have access to information that enables them participate meaningfully. And as this participation grows, it's important that our national conversation reflects our full diversity as a country, including young people, women, communities that are often less visible in the mainstream. So we have partners, we have community radio stations, we have our infrastructure, and we hope to work with the government to find out we can reach further and really the depth and breadth of our great country. So I won't go into much what Ni Mkenya is, or what has spoken to it, but I believe that this will provide a platform of how citizens and leaders engage together. So today, this is an invitation from us. We'd like to invite you to be partner with us on Ni Mkenya, to be contributors to these conversations, to help us reach out to the majority of Kenyans, and to help strengthen this cohesion. We believe that ultimately, when we reach our 18 months, we'll have a more cohesive nation, we'll have a more united nation, and we'll have a very, very peaceful election. So with that, I want to say thank you very much again for making time to come here, join us in this patriotic journey, and please, let's make Kenya the great country that it always is. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. So, just recognizing the protocols, I'd like to say that
Thank you very much. Just before we invite IBC to come on stage, please allow me to But that conversation cannot take place when everyone is not represented. And for this, allow me to invite a young person, a Gen Z, a representative of the Gen Z. This is Zaha Indimuli. Let's put our hands together for Zaha Indimuli. She is a youth, a Gen Z representative.
Good morning. Good morning. I think you heard the word Gen Z in my introduction. Good morning. My name is Zaha Indimuli. By default, I am Gen Z, being 24 years in this life, and for the first time about to vote in this very good country. I work at Nation Media on a show called The Last Word, where some politicians have met me on the other side of the hook where I don't give you a chance to breathe. But here today, as Wangeshi has just said, it's to remind us that all voices need to be in the room. But I think I'd want us to take a little bit of a step back and remind you that us as Gen Zs, we have been raised in high school by a book called Betrayal in the City by Francis Imbuga. And in Betrayal in the City, during KCSE, I was tested on this one specific narrative, that apparently it is better to die for something than to live for nothing. And that's what my siblings showcased in Kenya in June 2024. And we reminded the country that we deserve a country that allows us to exist, that we can study, that we can access healthcare, that I can go to work, that I can find the job, that I can transfer myself from Nairobi to Mombasa, to SGR, or whichever modes of communication that we have. That I can go on TikTok and enjoy a life while still thoroughly studying for my degree. That I can exist in a country that I see myself in. And we saw what happened in June, and then now we have young people coming together to remind us to Kokadi. It is no longer a place where we sit back and attune to the voices that tell us young people don't know about politics, young people don't participate, or for the first time, we are active and participating. That maybe for the first time, Kenya can produce leaders that represent the people. Kenya can experience the flourish of democracy. Kenya can exist, and we won't have women having too much to say and end to femicide. That children can be safe, and BBC does not have to have a documentary in my Mahio that we have child trafficking. That healthcare can work, and that I can assess any medical condition that I want and feel to be Kenyan enough to walk to a hospital and out. And for the many things that I do believe being Kenyan presents to us as young people, I think today I would want to remind us that in the trust that Betrayal in the City gave us for 4 years in high school, we will change the narrative, we will participate in the change, but importantly, we will be there to cast our vote and ensure that the Kenya we live in is a Kenya that allows us to flourish, and a Kenya that reminds us that we are Kenyan first and we will be Kenyan forever. Thank you so much, and see you as you cast your vote. Cast wisely, cast with intelligence, because Kenya is your business. Thank you.
A better round of applause for Zaha Indimuli. That is such a profound, brief address. Asante sana, Zaha, and we continue to acknowledge you even as you arrive here. Joining us right now is yet another commissioner from the IEBC, Hassan Nur Hassan. Karibu sana. Ali, I saw Commissioner Lutalala Mukwana as well as Commissioner Francis Adol, of course, accompanying the IEBC chairperson Triple E, Erastus Edung Efekon. Now, before I invite Efekon to come and speak to us, I want us to I want the world to know that we are here, all right? So we're going to do two very important things using our phones. Let's all get our phones, please. Let's all get our phones. Take a picture of yourself. You can take a video, selfie mode. Let's do this together. Ukishapiga picture, selfie, or a video, whichever you prefer. Have you captured it? Have you captured yourself and the people seated around you? Now let's go to all the social platforms, be it X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We will proceed after doing this because I will start reading what we post. So put a caption in there. Get a caption on your photo. Tell us something about Mimi Mkenya. Then post it on any social platform. Use the hashtag Mimi Mkenya. Are we doing this? Write anything. I mean, tell us what makes you, what this moment means for you. Mimi Mkenya. Later on, I'll be telling you about yet another exciting thing that we will do with our phones. But for now, that will make the world know that we are here for Mimi Mkenya and we are discussing about this country. I will be telling you why it is important that this conversation is held. But before that, we have very brief speeches to be made. I will invite Triple E, Erastus Edung Ethekon, the chairperson of the IEBC. Sir, karibu sana, come speak to us. We'll be having more people also speak after you. We are cutting across all demographics, across all generations. So we will, this is a conversation about everyone. We will find ourselves placing different dignitaries at different places to speak. Karibu sana, ladies and gentlemen. Join me, help me welcome the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Erastus Edung Ethekon.
Thank you very much. I think that Burukanga now is associated with myself, huh? Because I remember at Uhuru Park during the People's Dialogue Festival, that was the song that I was, my first time to dance in public. Thank you very much. PS, Dr. Raymond Omolo, NMG, MD, Godfrey Odundo, Bimal, Dr. Bimal, Dr. Manu Chandaria, all of whom are distinguished Kenyans and associated with this initiative of Mimi Mkenya from the outset. Bernard Amuka, Oliver Waindi, our senator from Narok. You are a super senator, my brother. Mr. Senator Ledama Olekina, Mr. Renson Igonga, all ladies and gentlemen present here this morning. Hamjambo. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure and honor to be part and parcel of the, I think, the relaunch, because we are not launching Mimi Mkenya for the first time, are we? I think Mimi Mkenya has been here for as long as I remember. Because way back in 2007, about 19 years ago, after we went through the challenges of post-election violence, subsequently, many Kenyans came up and came out to rethink the way we need to run our public affairs and the way we need to contribute to the stability and the peace in our country in all those aspects of our life, including during elections. And it's at that time, from 2010 going to 2012, 2013 elections, that most of these initiatives came up. And I recall it was about the same time that we launched the Mimi Mkenya. I was a Gen Z that time, many years ago. And I was one of those Gen Zs that was curious and that wanted to be part and parcel of some of these initiatives that promote responsible citizenship, patriotism, and the love of our country, Kenya. At the same time, as Ni Mkenya was launched, we also had other initiatives, including Uwiano. How many people are aware of Uwiano platform here? Yes, we have a number of them here. Uwiano platform for peace, and through that platform, we also promoted the peaceful elections campaign. Chagua Amani, Zuia, Noma. That was the clarion call. And of course, there were also other initiatives such as the Partnership for Peace, and all these initiatives were built around promoting patriotism, responsible citizenship, and the contribution of citizens to peaceful elections, peaceful transitions in our republic. Again, informed, of course, by the sad events of 2007, 2008. And therefore, as chairperson of the new IBC, we are very, very pleased that this initiative still exists, and we are relaunching it today, we are rededicating today, we are recommitting it today to ensure that even as we move towards the 2027 elections, that Kenyans are rethinking, Kenyans are reflecting on what is it that Kenyans as responsible citizens, as patriotic citizens, as peace-loving citizens, as citizens who love their country, that we are thinking about what we are going to do to make 2027 such a great success. We as IBC are committed to organizing and facilitating the people of Kenya to exercise their democratic constitutional right to elect their representatives, to elect their leaders, to constitute their government, because that's what, as responsible Kenyans, we gave to ourselves. I remember 2010, which I believe most of us were alive that time, even the young Gen Zs, maybe they were younger, they were children by that time, because that was 15 years ago. 2010 was the defining moment for our country, because we voted for the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And in that Constitution, we redefined how we are going to be governed as a people. We gave ourselves the values. In fact, first of all, we took back power to ourselves. Okay? So nasikia our politicians wanasema we want power. 2010, we the citizens took back that power from whoever was wielding it. And we decided in Article 1 to say sovereign power belongs to the people. And then we donated it a little bit, some to the executive, some to the judiciary, some to the parliament, and quite a bit of it to IBC, okay? So that power you donated to us was for us as an independent electoral and boundaries commission to facilitate you to exercise that sovereign power. That sovereign power to decide for yourself who is going to be your president, who is going to be your member of parliament, who is going to be your member of county assembly, MCA, who is going to be your women rep, who is going to be your senator. That is why you gave us that responsibility to hold 6 elections in one day, which is such an enormous, such a gigantic task. And me, together with my colleagues, the commissioners, and our secretariat, we believe we are up to the task. We will do an efficient, credible elections 2027. But this is where now Ni Mkenya comes in. But we can wake up, operationally speaking, we are ready. Me and my team, we can procure all the material of chaos, of anarchy. Is it possible? Are we going to set up police stations in Nairobi when there's serious maandamano? How possible is that? Are we going to conduct elections in places like Isiolo, Samburu, Marsabit, Turkana, where I come from, if bandits are roaming around and disrupting people's lives? So why am I saying this? I am saying this to just show you that we as IBC can do our job operationally, but the environment within which we are required to hold an election might not be conducive for us to facilitate you to exercise your sovereign power. So as responsible citizens, as patriotic Kenyans, we need to reflect, and I'm glad Mr. Odundo, you're saying this initiative will continue. Please let us have these conversations around the things that we must do as Kenyans that will lead us to peaceful, credible, free and fair elections come 2027. Because it's normally easy when things go wrong to point fingers, one finger at IBC, then you forget that 3 other fingers are pointing towards you. So let us think about that. There are certain things that we must ensure as Kenyans, as responsible Kenyans, we do so that to promote, to support IBC to conduct peaceful elections. So I applaud the initiative, the Ni Mkenya. I am sure other initiatives will come up. Uraya, I believe, is in this house. Yes, they are there. Please come up again to support these initiatives. We need young people, the Gen Zs, we need you to come up with these hashtags that promote patriotism, responsible citizenship as we move towards the general elections. We will work with you. We welcome you. We are an open commission. We are independent, but we are also interdependent with you. So I would not want to take much time. For me, I'll be very pleased to be part and parcel of Ni Mkenya with my team, and we will do whatever it takes to ensure that we succeed. I thank you very much.
As the do Nyethekon, chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, a tough job. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to recognize the presence of His Excellency Jibril Ibrahim Abdule, Somali Ambassador to Kenya. Please be upstanding. Let the room see you. Let's appreciate Ambassador Jibril. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for always making time. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Council, Gloria Wawera. Gloria Wawera, please be upstanding. Let us see you and let us appreciate you for making time to be with us. Now, remember, the main reason we are here is to launch Ni Mkenya. Over the next 18 months, you will all, as stakeholders, have time on our platforms as a nation.
Identifying ourselves as Kenyans. And at this particular point, we said we're going to have all partners that will move with us forward as we achieve the conversations that we're going to have in the next 18 months.
As Kenya continues to strengthen its democratic fabric. Our role in this partnership is actually very clear and deliberate. We are taking this message to the grassroots, where it matters the most. So through our extensive network of regional and community registrations across Kenya, we will ensure that this conversation is not only limited to boardrooms like this or to urban centers, but we'll make sure that it reaches every Kenyan in their language, in their context, and in a way that resonates with them the most. So this is because true national cohesion is built when every voice is included. So we will actually amplify Ni Mkenya through very simple rules. 1, we will localize storytelling and radio programming. 2, through community-centered conversations and on-ground activations. And lastly, through strategic editorial support that sparks dialogue and reflection. Because this is how we bridge the gap between national messaging and real community impact. And so, together with the Nation Media Group, we are not just disseminating information. We are building a movement of informed, engaged, and very, very, very responsible citizens. And so this is a movement rooted in accountability, dialogue, and unity. We believe that when communities are informed, they participate. And when they participate, they shape a stronger and more cohesive Kenya. And so, as we are standing as the grassroots engine of this initiative, we look forward to working with each and every one of you in this room to bring Ni Mkenya to life across the country. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and God bless Kenya.
Makofi tafadhali, asante sana for keeping it very brief. Thank you, we appreciate you, asante sana. Now we will move. We have 7 minutes, and in the next 7 minutes, or let me say 10 minutes, I would want us to be getting close to the launch. All right? So that we stick to the program and release everyone to go and attend to their other usual business. But before that, I will be inviting the DPP, Renson Ingonga, a little later. But before you speak, I want to invite you, Senator Ledama Olekina, the Senator for Narok County, now on his third term in the Senate. Second, is it second or third, Senator? Second term. Karibu sana.
Good morning all. I'm not going to waste your time. My name is Ledama Olekina. I'm a politician, yes. But I'm here as a partner because I'm a businessman and I'm a grassroots mobilizer. This country, I love so much. But I don't think the media love this country. Because what sells in the media is drugs, sex, and alcohol. Whenever there's violence, that is what we propagate. I want to challenge the media that I want you to carry out more programs that encourage Kenyans to consider themselves Kenyans, that build businesses. Because if we don't build businesses, we'll never be sitting here like Manu Chandaria. I asked Manu Chandaria when I walked in, what makes you look so young? He said, ni mboga. Kukula mboga. And I told him a Maasai cannot eat mboga. A Maasai can be able to focus in business that will be able to realign his or her own existing resources to be able to develop this country. Last January, I was invited to a country called Belarus to observe the elections. And this now goes to IEBC. And this is the first time in history, well, not really, but we have moved back to having a very skinny, lanky chairperson, you know? And I want to challenge you to do me one thing. When I went to Belarus, the eve before the election, the entire country was invited to be able to watch what that country has been through, so that people can actually be able to own up this phrase, Ni Mkenya. We've been through hell. Some of us have used our weapons to try and bring in leadership. We have to be invited to a room where we are challenged to look back at the 5 former presidents when they came in. What did they go through to become presidents? And why is it that we have a country of 46 ethnic groups, but only 2 ethnic groups are rotating the presidency? We need to enhance more grassroots movements, grassroots mobilization, and finally, because you took my 3 seconds, finally, we have to encourage young leaders. Let's have whole conversations for young leaders. Let us go to our high schools. Let us meet the young people who will be bequeathing this country to. If we don't do that, we'll be missing the point. This Ni Mkenya will not have a meaning if the people who are talking in Ni Mkenya are people who are 50 and above. We must start that conversation with 17-year-olds who are in high school and 18-year-olds who are in high school who will be forced to vote in the next election, and by the time they are 26 years old, they'll be paying a debt they never subscribed to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A better clap for him. Senator Ledama is also the minority whip at the Senate. And at this particular juncture, allow me to introduce the Director of Public Prosecution, that is Mr. Renson M. Igonga. Let's give him a better.
This objective is further reinforced by Article 81, Sub-Article E, which requires that our electoral system guarantees free and fair elections that are free from violence, intimidation, improper influence, or corruption. Additionally, Article 38 affirms that every citizen has the right to free, fair, and regular elections based on universal suffrage and free expression of the will of the electorate. Ladies and gentlemen, free, fair, and credible elections are the cornerstone of any democracy. However, the integrity of elections is not only determined at the ballot box, it is shaped by our collective conduct before, during, and after the electoral process. As the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, we bear the constitutional mandate under Article 157 to institute and undertake criminal proceedings. In the electoral context, this responsibility extends to ensuring accountability for election-related offenses, including electoral violence, hate speech, incitement, and the dissemination of false information. This is where I'm talking about giving proper information. So even journalists must be aware that if you give false information, it is an electoral offense. Our experience from previous electoral cycles underscores a critical reality. Electoral offenses, particularly hate speech and incitement, are increasingly evolving. They are no longer confined to public rallies, but have migrated to digital platforms, often manifesting through coded language and subtle forms of ethnic content. To address these emerging threats, the ODPP has taken deliberate steps. We are actively reviewing legislative frameworks to strengthen the prosecution of hate speech and election-related crimes, including proposals to expand offenses under the National Cohesion and Integration Act, and to address emerging trends such as organized political violence. Equally important is collaboration. The ODPP continues to work closely with key institutions, including the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, the National Police Service, and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to ensure timely investigation and prosecution of electoral offenses. Through joint trainings and frameworks, we are strengthening institutional preparedness ahead of the August 2027 general elections. Distinguished guests, while institutions have a critical role, the success of electoral justice ultimately depends on the actions of each one of us citizens. This is why platforms such as Ni Mkenya are so vital. Such platforms are a constant reminder to us that democracy is not a spectator sport, but a value that requires participation, vigilance, and responsibility. The call to embrace the principle of each one, teach one is particularly powerful. It challenges every Kenyan to become an ambassador of peace, a defender of truth, and a champion of lawful conduct. As voter registration gains momentum through initiatives such as the Tuko Kadi movement, we must ensure that civic engagement is accompanied by civic education. Every registered voter must understand that not only their right to vote, but also their duty to uphold peace, reject incitement, and report unlawful conduct. The ODPP remains committed to a people-centered and transformative prosecution service, which not only enforces the law, but also contributes to the prevention of crime through awareness, partnerships, and public engagement. In this regard, we call upon all stakeholders, including government agencies, the media, civil society, and development partners to deepen collaboration in public sensitization, early warning mechanisms, and accountability processes. Let us work together to ensure that 2027 elections are not only peaceful, but are also true reflection of the democratic will of the Kenyan people. In closing, I commend the Nation Media Group for this bold initiative. The Ni Mkenya initiative is more than a campaign, it is a clarion call to action, a call to choose unity over division, a call to choose truth over misinformation, and a call to choose justice over impunity. Let each one of us rise to that call. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A better clap for him, please. And it is a call for unity, as he has said. And we continue to appreciate the presence of everyone who's making their way in. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Joan Mutua, who's a representative from the Office of the Chief Justice. Karibu sana. We also appreciate the presence of the member of the civil society from the IMLU group, that is Grace Wangeshi from the Diplomatic Private Executives Office. Karibuni sana.
Yes, we acknowledge the passion that we all have about Kenya and Ni Mkenya. We acknowledge that. We are seeing it in how passionate your addresses are. But I remind us to stick to time. We have 18 months. And all the platforms at Nation Media Group, my boss has indicated, all the platforms at Nation Media Group are available to speak about Ni Mkenya and everything in between. So right about now, we want to hear from the private sector before we get to the launch. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in inviting Dr. Manu Chandaria to come and speak to us. Dr. Chandaria, we are all looking forward to your address. All of us growing up have been admiring the man, the legend that is Manu Chandaria, and today he graces us with his presence and will be sharing nuggets of wisdom about Ni Mkenya. Remember, the conversation continues online across all the social platforms. The hashtag is Ni Mkenya. We will be sampling your thoughts, your comments, your contributions to this. Remember, we are just getting started. We will move across the country. Even as Dr. Chandaria makes his way on stage, DJ, tupatie kitu kidogo, pole pole soft. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate Chandaria one more time. Asante sana for finding time. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you to Mr. Dundo. Even at this age, you have not forgotten me. I went to see him when he was working in the editorial board. And then he became the chief editor. And then he forgot me. It's nice to forget people, but thank you for remembering me. All the dignitaries over here, there's a list given to me over here. T.S. Omolo, there is a, well, not for, I think you all know, but they will all speak. Take your first nation to think about. I am 98. First thing I want you to all get up and say, I am a proud Kenyan. You say that. Come on. I am
Kenyan.
That's very easy. Very easy. It's very easy to say I am proud Kenyan. But what is today's note? Can you read that one? Maybe Ni Kenya. Maybe Ni Kenya is not easy. It takes a lot of responsibility. Just to say, Mimi ni Kenya, yeah, everybody says that. But then you must, before you go to sleep, you should ask yourself, are you a Kenyan? Or are you enjoying Kenya? Or are you serving Kenya? It's not easy to say these words of maybe Ni Kenya. Easy to speak, but to prove that maybe Ni Kenya takes a lot of effort. And Mr. Odundu and Nation Group, thank you for letting and calling people who can make a change, who can improve, and who can tell the people, Mimi Ni Kenya. So before you leave this room, and when you go to sleep tonight, ask yourself how much you believe in Mimi Ni Kenya. You know, while I was sitting over there, I was looking for my phone, and I remembered when I started my life, the jacket had only 5 pockets. 1, 2, 3, and 4 pockets in one jacket. Now the jackets have got sometimes 8 to 10 pockets. These pockets, which are 8 or 10, what does it serve? Unfortunately, in our country, it serves to hold. They are not there to keep. You fill it up. You see it, put it in your pocket. You see that, put it in your pocket. Now you are all graduated to extent to understand that you can only eat so much. You cannot eat anything. So to be maybe Ni Kenya, maybe Ni Kenya, takes lots of responsibility. This responsibility, each one of you must go through. By saying, it's very easy. By doing, it's difficult. But really understanding and trying to really be a Kenyan, a true Kenyan, then we are losing so much. The responsibility of sitting over here, the responsibility that we have got over here, we are not fulfilling. Today, there are approximately 6 million young Kenyans, well-educated, facing streets of Kenya. What do they do? Very little. As long as I can do it for myself, for my family, for my friends, that's enough. That is not enough. You got to hold at least minimum 10 Kenyans' hands. Guide them. Because these are sitting there every day, going home, getting next morning frustrated. And what are we doing about them? Nothing. Unless we all do something. But we are only prepared to do it for ourselves. Now the time has come that you people were sitting over here today, had a lovely lunch, breakfast. 3 of people on my table didn't have the breakfast because they already had the breakfast. That's not enough. We need to feed so many mouths which are sitting outside going hungry and sleeping without ability. And the worst is Our young people, educated people, go to sleep frustrated. What are we doing for it? Nothing. Zero. Just think about those 10 million people. The 20 million hands, we can change Kenya into the #1 country in Africa. Some of you just kept silent because you didn't want to raise your hand and even clap. But the one who has clapped must take the responsibility that we can change. Mimi Ni Kenya is not easy. It's very easy said, but it's very difficult to Mimi Ni Kenya. What have you done for Kenya? Ask yourself. Except you enjoyed life, except you have enjoyed this country, what have you done? If you've done enough, do more. When you go to sleep and you say you've done nothing, please start. Because Kenya needs people who think beyond themselves. And Mimi Ni Kenya, for nation, to bring that subject to the people. Thank you. But it's a good idea from nation. How much of you are going to be saved? Mimi Ni Kenya. It's very easy to speak and say it. How many of you are going to hold hands of others? How many of you are going to do something for this country? How many of you are going to be responsible for the people who are absolutely hungry? Go to sleep, sometimes half a meal. You don't forget it. The minute you get out of here, you'll think about yourself. Yes, think about yourself. That's the fundamental. That's what we are human beings for. But then when you think about others, then I have some responsibility to Kenyans. Then I would say, Mimi Ni Kenya is a possibility. Otherwise, it's a slogan. Slogan does not fill the stomachs. Fill the stomach, let's make effort to make very sure. Now, how many of you are prepared to go and say, I'll collect tomorrow 50 children or 50 youth and say, come on, let's once a week clean our streets. Let's plant some trees. Nothing is, it doesn't cost very much. After a long time, not very long time, but I turned around and came from this back road to here. I was horrified, horrified. I've been to this place, I don't know, every month, maybe twice, thrice. But this road, filthy, stones, dirt, filth, all over the place. Just go through that road and you'll find, wow, where have we gone? Who cares? Until you care. Then you can say, Mimi Ni Kenya. If you don't care, you're Kenyan, yes, but not Mimi Ni Kenya. To be Kenya, you have a responsibility, and this responsibility, the nation group, to bring it to us. Today to the people who are sitting here, and tomorrow who is going to read nation, and hear entries, that it takes effort. It cannot be done just like that. So this questions about pockets. can we keep these pockets empty? A little minute. Let's see these pockets, things that we want to put in is used for others. And this is what I'd like to leave at present. You are all capable, you are all possible that you can support, change, and make a considerable change. And it's not only 100 or 150 or 200 people over here this morning, but thousands of people like you, knowing you can do it, but don't want to do it. Let's change that mindset. Let's change that mindset. Let me just give you a small example. When I came to this country, and I started work in 1950, by then my parents had lost all their wealth in India in speculation. And I ended up with a Kalu works with 40 people, 40. And I had come from the United States with a degree in engineering and master's in. And when I came back, I asked myself, what am I going to do? It's 40 people. Today the group employs 40,000 in 35 countries.
Such a profound message.
Each one of you can do it. So, to say Ni Mkenya takes a lot of responsibility. Please do something about it. And each one of you can do it. So now I want you to get up again and say, Ni Kenya. And who doesn't want to do, please remain seated.
Let's all be upstanding.
Ni
Mkenya.
Ni
Mkenya.
Ni
Mkenya. Thank you very much. A better round of applause for Dr. Manu Chandaria.
Dr. Manu Chandaria deserves a standing ovation. Remember, at 98 years, you can feel the passion, you can feel the love. Dr. Chandaria, you are a blessed man. Let's appreciate him until the time he gets to sit. This is for you. Some of us are really honored to even share a room, a podium with you. Dr. Chandaria, what you've done, what you continue doing for this country is one we really appreciate. We love you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And while still remaining upstanding, before Wangeshi gets to invite the next speaker, because we are just about to launch, DJ Evoke, let's do this. What does this song give you a feeling of? Mimi Ni Mkenya, DJ Evoke. Let's do this together. I want to hear your voices. Let's go. Your voices, please. Ewe Kenya. Cut. Thank you very much, DJ Evoke Wangeshi.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you so much, Dr. Manu Chandaria. That was a profound message, and you said it is easier said than done. And at this particular point, allow me to introduce the Managing Director and the CEO of the Nation Media Group to invite our chief guest.
So I think it's a great honor for me to invite our Permanent Secretary, Principal Secretary, Internal Security and National Administration, Dr. Raymond Omolo, who is our great friend and partner, and really holding this country together. I know it's a tough job, but keep it up. So welcome, Dr. Raymond.
Thank you, CEO Odundo. Our elder, Mzee Manu Chandaria, the DPP, Mr. Igonga, the Chair IEBC, Mr. Ethekon, all delegates, colleagues, friends, good morning. Good morning once again. After listening to all the speakers, including my friend, the Honorable Ledama Olekina, and after such a powerful speech by Manu Chandaria, I'm actually left wondering whether I need to give my keynote speech or just ask us to stand and do the launching, and we look forward to all the engagements that Nation Media Group is going to undertake across the country as we get to the next election. But first, let me sincerely commend and appreciate the Nation Media Group, that you've sat back and thought through and looked at this country and realized that we need to have a conversation of being Kenyan. And looking at what is going on around the country today, already you can sense that the temperatures are beginning to rise. And in the process, it's possible for a lot of things to get lost in that noise. Therefore, asante sana to Odundo and the team. And I'm sure there will be several such forums or programs that are calling us as a country to action and also to relook at ourselves as citizens of this great republic. Now, I want to speak to just 4 things, and then we can then do the launch. Number 1 is just on the reflections, and the CEO did say that as a country we are very youthful. Actually, the median age is about 19, and is it Indimuli? When she stood as a Gen Z and as an advocate for the youth voices. And in the room, I can see a number of faces that I've watched or listened to advocate for the youth and the need for inclusion, the need for the participation of youth in the affairs of this country. And when Indimuli spoke about June 24, I was like, yes. It's important that those conversations are had, and it's important that we have reflections. And I remember at the heart of those demonstrations, and we were all in this country, so I had an occasion to sit with a number of university student leaders, I think around 50 of them, drawn from across all the country. And we had very candid conversations. And one of the things I remember telling them was that about 20 years ago, I was where you were. And we were full of energy. We did a lot of crazy things that what probably you're doing has not even come close to what we did when we were your age. And I remember also telling them that before us, there were other people who had done that. And therefore, maybe we need to stop and ask ourselves, what exactly is the problem? Someone like, there was a group of the Young Turks that was in the 90s, and they did a lot of things, and a lot of that also led to many positive things. But how is it that every so often we are constantly in that cycle of agitation? And my parting shot then for the young student leaders was that in not so long, these same characters, the political leaders, will sit down and life will go on, and you'll be asking yourself, what happened? And they're like, why are you saying so? I told them, maybe you guys need to ask yourself, what is the real problem? I don't think the finance bill is a problem. There is a much deeper conversation that we must have as a country if this country is to move forward, if this country is to be inclusive as per the framers of the Constitution. And therefore, this Ni Mkenya conversation is very timely. Because what would make me feel Kenyan? What are the issues? A child or a youth in Turkana, what are the issues that that youth or that mother is dealing with? What are the issues that affect the people in Kwale? What are the issues that affect someone who is in Siaya County? And more often than not, we may be seated in a room like we are today in Nairobi, and we imagine that this is the whole country. I'm happy you will be moving across the country just to engage and listen and get to appreciate. There are maybe 3-4 fundamental things that we must work on as a nation to address. If we cannot have our mothers deliver safely in hospitals, if our families fall ill and they cannot go to hospital and get the drugs and get the doctors to attend to them, then there's a problem. So what is it that we are doing as a government? What is it that we are doing as a people to address that so that we make people feel that they are Kenyans? Issues to do with shelter, issues to do with food, like Manu Chandaria has spoken to. If today our people still go hungry, they cannot feel Kenyan. Now, what are we doing as a government to address that? And if we are being honest and candid, we will all agree that under President Ruto, for 3 years, there is something monumental, something transformative that is addressing the issue on food security, that is addressing the issue on health, that is addressing the issue on education, that is addressing the issues around opportunities, jobs. We have close to 1 million youths who are coming out of our institutions of learning with nowhere to go. Do we have a plan? Are we thinking about them? Because if we don't do, trust me, there will be no country to celebrate. And that's why I want to appeal to the media that you have a much bigger responsibility, like all of us, to think about this country beyond the sensationalization of issues and beyond trying to focus on just appealing to the emotions of people. Lastly, and I'm very passionate about the young people, we have the Nyota program that the president has been going around the country, and there was a lot of conversation. Why must the president go to every part of the country to meet the youths to talk about Nyota? And there were comparisons that this program is supported by the World Bank, it's happening in other African countries. How is it that other presidents are not doing it? And just for your information, we even had issues with World Bank. They did not want the president to do it. But the president was like, you guys want transparency. You guys want accountability. We don't want to sit in a dark corner and give you numbers that we have empowered 80,000 youths, 70 from every ward. without you knowing who they are. Now, and then soon after, there was a very good article that 20% that talk about 5.4 billion Kenya shillings that has gone down the drain. And it was on account of an appreciation that most often 20% of the businesses fail. So in terms of the quantum of the resources, it was coming to about 5.4 billion. So the focus was on the 5.4 billion that is going down the drain. But then there was no conversation of the 80%. And even the 20% of businesses that fail, and I'm sure Manu Chandaria, who is an accomplished businessman, will tell you, what is failure? Does it mean that you don't open the doors of your shop the following day? And even if you don't open it, what other lessons are there for you so that the next time you have an opportunity, you will do better? So as I close, I was just trying to call on the media that there is a danger of a single story. And we need to be more patriotic, we need to be more positive. And Kenyans are very good people, trust me. They want us to be accountable, they want us to be transparent. And as we'll be going into the elections, there needs to be clarity. How are people going to vote? How are results going to be determined? So that the same way we want to hold to account those whom we elect as the person we elect as a president, we must also be able to hold to account those we elect in all the other 5 positions. How often do we call on our governors? How often do we call out our senators? How often do we call out our MPs? How often do we call out our members of county assemblies? Because Kenya is a shared responsibility. It's a responsibility for all of us. So as we put the executive to task, we must, in the same breath, put the judiciary to task. We must also put the legislatures to task. And most importantly, we must put ourselves to task. When we talk about femicide happening, it's happening in our homes. It's easy to ask, where is the police, or where was the police? But there is a mother there who has a husband, who has a son, who has a daughter. Where are they in this whole equation? There is the village. What is everybody in the village saying? So I think it's important that as we embark on this initiative, we have a moment to reflect as a country, and each of us must play their part. As the PS for Internal Security, and on behalf of the team in the ministry, we will continue to do our part. Occasionally, we will not get it right, and we are open to have conversations. We are calling for your support. But when we get it right, I think it's also fair that we also get our flowers, just like we will give flowers to everybody, including those in the civil society, including those in the media. With those many, many remarks, I want to officially declare the Mimi Ni Mkenya is launched. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, PS Dr. Raymond Bono. PS, before you take your seat, even as you have declared the Mimi Mkenya launch, we also wish to request that you be joined by Triple E. Bring it back later. Asante sana. Gloria tafadhali. Gloria, make your way on stage. DJ, I know you are ready. What we will do, Asante Sana, this is time to launch, and DJ Evoke has something for us which we'll play at the in a countdown. At the count of 5, we will all hold a fist up, all of us in the room, because we are just about to start this amazing journey. Remember, we said in 2022 we went around 21 counties, 21 town halls across the country for Ni Mkenya. PS Raymond Omolo and all our dignitaries, let's have one fist up in the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Simama, wewe shujaa, simama. Simama kila mtu.